people are pointing at you for whatever reason.
Why? That's just crazy. I mean, that's absolutely crazy.
Sherri Rasmussen was found shot to death inside her home on February 24, 1986, in an apparent burglary gone wrong. But the real culprit was a real shock when finally identified. In the heart of Los Angeles in the late 1980s, this heinous crime shocked a community and remained unsolved for years. Do you want to know the full story? Stay with us till the end. We'll unravel the enigmatic story behind the murder of Sherri Rasmussen, shedding light on the events leading up to her tragic death and the eventual resolution of the case. This is the twisted story behind the murder of Sherri Rasmussen. When they first met, John Ruetten and Stephanie Lazarus were both University of California, Los Angeles students who planned to graduate in 1982. Lazarus was majoring in political science, whereas Ruetten was majoring in mechanical engineering. In addition, they were both quite athletic and active. Although they had a casual connection at first, Ruetten and Lazarus did not get close until after graduation. Lazarus joined the LAPD as a police officer, and Ruetten started working as a hardware developer. Despite several encounters, they never formally announced their relationship. Later on, Ruetten got to know Sherri Rasmussen, a rising star in the medical industry. She was already Glendale Adventist Medical Center's director of nursing. Ruetten and Rasmussen grew close immediately, and they soon moved into a Van Nuys apartment together. In the meantime, Stephanie Lazarus found it difficult to let go of Ruetten and ended up being more of a third party in their relationship, something that unnerved Rasmussen. Lazarus told Ruetten about Rasmussen at her 25th birthday celebration, admitting that they were very infatuated. Sherri Rasmussen was concerned about Lazarus's frequent communication with Ruetten, but Ruetten reassured her that their relationship was merely amicable. But Lazarus's adoration just deepened. Rasmussen leaned on Ruetten's reassurances, even though she was still concerned that Lazarus was pursuing her. The two were married in November 1985. Before tragedy struck, they had 3 blissful months as a married couple. Rasmussen was contemplating going to work on February 24, 1986. She decided to call in ill, citing a recent back problem, because she had an uninteresting lesson scheduled. Not long after, Ruetten left for work. Ruetten gave the house a call a few hours later. He attempted using Rasmussen's work after his phone went unanswered, figuring she had made the decision to go in. But he was also unable to get through to her there. He made a few more unsuccessful calls to the house. Ruetten tried to push his concerns aside and carried on with his day. But upon returning home from work, he discovered a terrifying scenario. Even though they turned it on every day, he discovered that the answering machine was deactivated. He found a bloody handprint next to the panic button near the alarm, and the room was covered in broken objects. In the living room, John Ruetten discovered Sherri Rasmussen dead.
There's items thrown about the place, lamps that are broken, and as he goes through, then he makes that grim discovery of Sherri lying there with 3 gunshot wounds to her body.
3 shots had been fired at her. A forensic specialist from the LAPD discovered a bite mark on her arm and collected a sample. Rasmussen was promptly declared the victim of a break-in by the LAPD. Despite hearing fighting and screaming, the neighbors chose not to call the police. Police believed that when Rasmussen confronted them and a scuffle broke out, the burglar was working on some gadgets. Rasmussen's missing car was found by the police, and the couple's marriage license was the only other item taken. After the murder, Ruetten was removed from Los Angeles and ruled out as a suspect. Police were informed of Rasmussen's father's daughter's problems with Lazarus, and a note was made, but the lead was never pursued. The bite mark turned out to be unusual, but no suspect was ever found, so the case ended in a dead end. Although the LAPD was too busy dealing with the gang violence and crack epidemic to devote the necessary time to the inquiry, Rasmussen's father never gave up on the possibility that his daughter could have defended herself against an intruder. For a number of years, Rasmussen's father attempted to get the case reopened. Subsequently, investigators declined to proceed, and the case did not regain momentum until DNA testing was made accessible. Using the new technology, a committed team at the LAPD worked on previous forensic cases, and Rasmussen's case qualified. Criminalist Jennifer Francis discovered the DNA-containing cotton swab that was missing from the file in 2004. According to Vanity Fair, the first assumption of a male burglar was ruled out when it was determined that the saliva and bite mark belonged to a girl. However, the case fell cold again since no detective took it. The case was revisited by the LAPD in 2009. The burglary was orchestrated to divert police attention, and it was determined to be a murder. After deciding to follow up on the tip, detectives soon discovered Stephanie Lazarus's name in the original investigation's notes. After Lazarus put out a coffee cup while not on duty, they gathered DNA from it and compared it to the sample taken from the bite mark.
You know, if we asked you for a DNA swab, would you be willing to give us one?
Maybe. Because now I'm thinking I probably need to talk to a lawyer.
Stephanie Lazarus was found guilty of first-degree murder and given a 27-year-to-life sentence at the California Institution for Women after it was established by the evidence that she was Rasmussen's murderer. Despite her many attempts to appeal, the conviction has been upheld by lower courts. Sherri Rasmussen's murder is a sobering reminder of the evil that may hide beneath seemingly normal lives. Although justice was eventually carried out, Sherri's family and the persistent detectives had a difficult and drawn-out trip. The conclusion of this case gives those who loved and still remember Sherri Rasmussen some kind of closure, proving that the truth can finally triumph, even in the face of the most difficult and perplexing mysteries. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. See you next time.